it's amazing how every single book, including the holy books, talks about humility.
Yeah.
Every single book talks about the need for one to be humble, the need for one to embrace an humble lifestyle to be able to find great success. The Holy Bible even said, God raises the proud and will give grace to the humble. So, therefore means humility is one super vital part of one's existence. Some persons will say, even jokingly sometimes, you are proud. Or somebody say, you are not loyal, you are not humble. You understand? And then the question then becomes, what's really the essence of humility if it's that super important? Sometimes the lack of humility itself had made the relationship amongst friends, even in workspaces, or even amongst people in the family, siblings, related by blood. The fact that one person or there's lack of humility has to an extent severed the relationship. And I feel like that's why it's important that we have a conversation around it today.
Yeah.
On this, brand new episode of the S2EP2 podcast. I'm super excited that I have someone right here to join me, do this conversation. I'm talking about Joseph Adeosun right here in the studio to help discuss humility today.
Pleasure.
Tjan, that's your name.
Yes.
The Joseph Adeosun is also known as Tjan. Tjan is the Joseph Adeosun network, right?
Tjan is the Joseph Adeosun network.
So there is the Joseph Adeosun as a brand.
As a brand, yes.
A personality, right?
Yes.
And then there's the Joseph Adeosun as what now?
As an NGO.
As an NGO.
Yes.
Yo, right. I think I must commend your work thus far. With both brands, you've actually be doing really great. The Joseph Adeosun network, or the person, one of which I've been organizing this event, the Mind Shift event, right? I feel like it's actually one of the biggest events that's, that has a conclave of facilitators, doing super great. It's in whichever industry they are at. Last time I think I saw Adefila, Mr. Femi Adefila, the owner of Western Spring FM, as one of your facilitators. Of course, you had, I think Mr. Philip of Plus was there too. And then quite to know. You say I'm following.
Right.
You say I'm correct. It's a great job you're doing there. I must congratulate you. Thank you so much. But today, I don't know, what does humility mean to you? It means a lot of different persons. What does it mean to you?
It does. For me personally, it's an art of just being modest. Simply put, it's being modest as a form of character. So. In whatever you're doing, in whether it's performance or even in thoughts. Usually most people don't think humility can be perceived from the thought process, but of course our thoughts guide our action, you understand? So humility starts from the thought process to the action. So it's being modest from your thought process through to your behavioral traits and what you act on.
I don't know why it feels like humility these days has been bastardized. Like people want you to act humble according to what they see humility as to be. I don't know if that makes sense. Like people would want you to act in such a way that you can think, okay, I'm not a proud person, I'm humble, I'm modest, But some persons will still see that your modesty has some level of pride.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit into their definition of what humility is.
Yeah, true. A quick story about that. I remember one time, I grew up quite in a very low-key environment. I grew up in Motion, Lagos. And one of the first things I had to battle with in coming out from that environment is seeing people who are doing well for themselves, right? And the way they act is different. You understand? Their humility is not the same as mine. Do you understand? I mean, their humility can be spending, as in kids, spending 500 naira per day.
Right.
Do you understand? And they don't see it as a big deal.
Right.
That's them being modest in spending.
Right.
You get. And my own humility would be, maybe trying to save the 5 or 10 naira that I have. Do you understand? I mean, not even spending it,
Right.
So I have to train myself. So I see your point, right? The fact that humility means different things to different people. And one thing I've come to observe is it's not just about humility. Practically everything means different things to different people. So relationship demands that you know where this person is coming from.
Yeah,
You
understands the
understand?
person's background,
Yeah,
because every single person is a product of their environment.
Of their
So
environment.
if something does not make sense to you, it's best that you learn
Yeah,
according to what it means to this person by reason of the person's background, other than just backlashing. Because one thing I would say basically is that you don't really know how humble or how loyal you that thinks you are the humble person is until you are faced with some level of living condition.
yeah, resource. Yeah.
So you might think you are very humble, you might think you are very loyal, but if you come across or you get entrusted with some level of finance,
Yeah.
that is on the positive side, or some level of finance lifts you,
Yeah.
then you can now begin to see that, whoa, my humility has been conditional.
Yeah, that reminds me. One thing I've always said, I put it out somewhere, maybe a tweet or something, that loyalty in trenches is not really loyalty, right? You've not tested it. Do you understand? I mean, that we are both all trying to make our way in life, and we've not really tested ourselves
some level
with resource.
right?
Do you understand? So, my guy, if $10 million come into your hand,
No.
will I still be your guy? Do you understand? I mean, you have $10 million, I don't have, right? Will I still be your guy? Do you understand? And that's the story. You now have to understand that other guy has resource now. Character would show. His real self will show. So someone loyal at that level, you don't categorize it as loyalty.
It's almost like you just went in my mind to pull out the word loyalty.
Yeah.
And humility. They look almost the same, but they are not.
The same. Yeah, they are not the same.
Humility is when you decide deliberately to be modest in your disposition.
Yeah.
Loyalty is when you have identified a person or a cause or a goal and says, okay, I want to commit, because loyalty is commitment. I want to commit myself to this person and this goal, or this organization, or this course, or this space, part time.
Yeah.
So you can be super loyal, but you are not humble.
Sure.
And you can be super humble, but you are not loyal.
Yeah.
So some people try to mix it up, say, this person has been acting really humble. How come this person is behaving this way? The person is still humble, but the person has chosen. Remember I said for loyalty, you decide what you want to be loyal to.
Sure.
You decide to be, I want to be in this church. I want to be in this company. I want to be in this space. There are better spaces. There are better churches. There are better companies that pays higher. But I want to be in this place. Loyalty is a choice.
Yeah.
But humility is a way of life, a natural disposition.
It's behavioral.
It's behavioral.
Yeah.
So some persons will not really understand the difference. So when they see someone, begin to pull out, like we said just now, when situation changes and one begins to act in some kind of way, they say, this person is not humble, this person is proud. But I feel like what changes is because the person had now decided to commit his or herself to.
I think I read it somewhere that even that one that you're saying is still some kind of humility.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and the person categorized 4 different kind of humility. There's the innate humility, right? The fact that this person is naturally humble, right? And there's the humility that comes from the fact that, you are naturally a proud person. You understand? Maybe you were born a prince. Everything has been easy for you. So, but environmentally, you have to serve people. Maybe you now have a leadership office and you have to serve people. So you are trying to be modest. So there's that kind of humility. And that there's an humility that comes into play where the buck stops where the value stops. So I am only humble to the degree of what you are giving me. Do you understand? So if you stop offering me this, both loyalty and humility stops there. Do you understand?
No, I don't agree.
So
the fact that once humility is conditional, it therefore means the person's loyalty is questionable.
Of course.
If your humility has to be tied to something, it therefore means you cannot say you are loyal to that person.
But the question now is, since humility is behavioral, it would mean that I'm not humble to you doesn't mean I'm not humble to someone else. Right.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now let's
Humility to me, Jan, wait.
Okay.
Humility to me is, as an humble person, irrespective of the environment I am, irrespective of the person I'm with, my natural disposition as an humble person would play out. I cannot as a person be humble and show sign of humility to my boss, and I treat the waiter at the restaurant in some crazy way. I cannot as an individual choose who I want to be loyal to. The truth is, the moment humility becomes conditional, then that person itself does not have humility. It therefore means that person is now choosing, I don't know, maybe I will call it a double standard kind of life. I don't believe one can be humble to some persons and not be humble to another person.
So let me ask you a question.
Right.
Would you consider yourself an humble person?
Of course.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to someone in an act of pride before? Like you just felt this person needed that show of power.
No, the thing is,
no. That's a yes or no question.
No, it can't work. That question deserves an explanation.
All right.
Now, it's not a question of now be humble. It's a question of when one decides to seek one's worth and one's value, or expressively, fully express what you think is right by you.
That is why
that's not a show or a sign of pride.
That is why this person is dissecting this humility. You see, every one of us, right, at some point, we have this double-sidedness to us. In fact, more than two sides, if you understand. Yes, there is the baseline foundation. As I said, you can be that person that is naturally humble, right? However, there are some environments that naturally it doesn't. If you want to be on top of your game, you can't. That's that humbleness that you don't know when you start losing yourself, right? You have to be top of your game, else, I mean, you'll be sidetracked. You'll just be taken for granted.
Right. Okay. So I got this story.
Right.
Of a lady. She was like the powerhouse of a particular business.
Oh, nice.
In Lagos.
Okay.
This business was doing super well, opening lots of branches. But when she started this business with her boss, it was just like, I'm very close to you.
All right? When her boss started this business with her?
When her boss started the business with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a difference between when she started with her boss and when the boss started with her.
Of course. Okay, the person that started the matters.
Okay, so when her boss started this business with her, it was just, okay, because you are a friend, you know,
all right,
family friend, let's do it together.
Okay.
And she was humble and she was loyal, you know, to the cause, to the business. At first, it would look like, I'm just doing it because I respect you, because I love you, because I want to see you progress, all right? I don't care about the money that's coming. But this business is becoming a global phenomenon, like it's becoming super big. I don't know. And then, at some point, like before, the boss would like, okay, you take this, you know, for your work and stuff. But there's a way success will get into your head that you will not even begin to imagine or reason, because like you did say, it's important who starts.
Yeah.
She was the one that started the business.
All right.
She was the one in the news. She was the one everywhere. The CEO of this business is this woman. You know, what's it called now? The brain behind the founder is this particular person. But the engineer of the business, the person doing bulk of the work, the person that writes the proposal, the person that, you know, is this particular lady.
I understand.
An Igbo lady. You know. And then at some point it was becoming overwhelming, because I mean, I started this job because we are friends. Okay. Like, although you are older than me, but I want to see you succeed. I want to see you grow. Okay. Now we've opened lots of branches. You are making the money, but I'm not getting that remuneration that I deserve. I'm not getting the compensation that I deserve. At a point, it was becoming overwhelming, because you see, you are working with this woman, this big woman, but they look at the value of your life and the way you are looking. It doesn't look like.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand. Up until she, you know, encountered a friend that told her, I think it's about time you spoke up and tell this woman what you're really worth.
Okay.
All right. So, unlike the normal story, for this story, it was when she walked up to this woman and said, I'm a very loyal person. I've served you. You know how humble I am. You know how loyal I have been. But I think it's about time that you give me what is actually right by me as concerning this business.
Okay.
And then that was when the woman discovered that, whoa, I think actually this person has been doing a whole lot for the success of this business, and I'm not doing right by her. And then she increased her remuneration according to her land. In fact, she had to even hire some more staff, to take over the workloads from this lady. My question now is there like a kairos moment when someone will discover that, whoa, I've played humility, I am loyal to this person? Is there a point where there should be an overturn to begin to seek some level of, let's say, profitability, or some level of
demand
for what's really what's you? Because why we're having this conversation today is because there's a point to which one can be humble or loyal to a fault. That you are humble, you are loyal, but you are beginning to change yourself and cut yourself out of what really should be given to you. You are an employee to a company, just like this particular story I talked to you about. And then this company is doing super well. Everybody is, the attention is on you, on the company, but you are the one that does the work. There is no credit to your input in the company. Where's that point? How can one know that, okay, it's time? Why is it important to talk about it? It's now when some people will now say, okay, it's about time. And they will say, you are no longer loyal. My boy, you don't have to the speaker for you, but like this, but you don't get pride. How is the point?
For me, I would say it's a question of value, right? And when I mean value, not values as what you internalize, I mean what you are able to give. Do you understand? Right. So, okay, you started a business with someone, and you can see the business has grown to a considerably, stable point. You understand? I mean, and what you are worth. That's the first thing.
Right.
You know how you've been able to value yourself. You see, if you can't value yourself, you can't demand what you are worth. Do you understand? If you don't put premium first on yourself, you can't put premium on what you do. Because people first buy into you before they buy into what you do. Do you understand? So if you can't put that premium on what you are, who you are, what you do will always suffer. Do you understand? And that's what you are talking about, being humble to a fault. The fact that you don't see yourself as more. You've amassed more skills, owned your skills, advanced in level, but you still don't see yourself. You kept doing activities, but you yourself, you don't see yourself as more. So that point is where the point where you demand for your what is first, a point where you first know for yourself that you are more valuable than how maybe you are being perceived.
Okay, so once all that thought, please. I want to understand something. So when you now evaluate and now discover that, okay, I'm more valuable than what I'm already getting,
then it becomes expressive. You are not just talking from the sky, right? You can talk from knowledge.
So is that not supposed to be like, I'm talking because of persons that would be watching right now? Is that not supposed to be, okay, how then do you now, let me put it properly, how then do you now now wage the backlash of, I built you, I helped you build capacity, I impacted in you, I was instrumental to your development as a company, maybe the company or the person. How come it's even right now that you want to begin to demand your worth? How about the value? I don't know if you get it.
The company has added
that I've added to you. Because that's where the problem.
Of course.
Understanding the kairos moment is not the problem. The problem is how to go about it.
I think that's a discourse about approach, right? Behaviorally, you can be humble, but of course, you can approach a particular situation in a very devastating way, right? I highlighted that there can be two scenarios to what you just said. The fact that one, the person is leaving the organization,
right,
and the fact that the person is just demanding a raise, to what the person's value is what, right? Both approach, there are ways to go about it. Now, if you are demanding a raise from someone who you started the company with, the person is not just a professional body to you. The person is also personal, right?
Right.
That is a personal discussion,
right,
about a professional You know,
Right, I get it.
this is now personal, that
Right.
guy to guy.
Like alpha.
Alpha.
This thing don't dey big, it don't blow.
You
Alpha, why I still
you
dey-
understand.
I get it.
That's a good approach. You understand. It doesn't negate your own pride or humility. You know, it drives that behavior of being humble, right? Now, the second one, which has to do with leaving the organization, you just have to tailor it professionally. You don't make it personal. Now, you have to professionally let the person know that you guys have been together for a long while. Do you understand? Because this is not just a personal discussion. The person has to evaluate what it will cost them to hire someone else of your caliber. I mean, and even the natural order of maybe every company has that natural leaving order where they say 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 months. Do you understand? So
Right.
you don't now paddy it into it and say, okay, I'm leaving next week. No.
Okay.
You get.
I feel like in the conversation like this where we're discussing, when one is being loyal to a fault or when one is being humble to a fault,
Yeah.
it's now more even important than ever to talk about this issue around people using one's loyalty. You know this person is loyal.
Yeah.
You know this person is humble. You know this person loves you or loves your brand, and you are a revered, reverenced personality to this particular individual. But you're not capitalizing on that humility and loyalty of that person. And I feel like it happens almost everywhere. It happens in relationship. I mean, sexual or marital relationship. This person is loyal to you. This person understands me, understands where I started from. But now have understood that this person is loyal. You're not using that. Like, is it like an African thing or is a world thing? Why is it that humans are, I would call it manipulative.
Yeah.
So they don't know that this particular person, no worry, he is loyal to me. Some persons might even manipulate you with, okay, they'll tell you, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. In the future, you're going to get something. The future is going to be bright. But the future is already bright. I can be in a relationship that will say, don't worry, you have to be, you are married. I'll get married to you very soon. So, stay loyal, stay humble. There was a word you used before the show. Stay submissive.
So
at that point, humility and loyalty, it's even now at the detriment of the loyal person.
Okay. So a friend of mine walked up to me one time and was telling me how he believes that we are all used. Right? And that every relationship is transactional. It is mostly about what I'm getting, what you're getting. You understand? Now, I am of the opinion, not that the person is wrong, I am of the opinion that relationships should be based on value systems. You understand? So, of course, you don't want to be in a relationship where you are obviously not getting something. But then you should also be thinking of what are you also providing. And that comes to where you were talking about, being manipulative. And if you see you are not getting what you ought to be getting, you begin to have that sense. Do you understand? Now that's a question for you. You say, not the other person. Do you understand? Because people, if you don't, as I said earlier, if you don't place value on your what, people will devalue you. People will use you. You have to demand your what. You don't wait for the other person to give you what you are worth. Do you understand?
You have to demand it. You have to take it.
You have to take it. You request for it. You understand? Just like you demand to be respected.
I don't have a problem with being used. Like you said, everybody may be used.
Yes.
All right. I don't have a problem with being used. But the problem basically I have is you can use me, fine. But just don't abuse me.
Yeah, okay.
You can use me, but don't just, capitalize on the fact that I'm making myself available to you, and then you would abuse me. That's why I feel like I like the Igbo. Igbo people are one of the richest, and they're one of the best in terms of business because they already have a formula. Fine, during this period, you can do whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
The way Igbo people excel in business is during the period when a guy is come of age and he wants to go into business. What happens is that he looks for a master someone already doing well in the line of business he or she wants to be at, right? So this young boy goes to Alaba International Market, meets Papa Uchenna or one Igbo man like that sells electronics, and said, okay, I want to serve you for the period of 8 years or 6 years or 5 years. And then during that period, the man can do anything with this child. Go and wash my car, go and wash my wife's car, go and wash my wife's clothes, pack the stuff into the store, sweep the store, clean it. The guy is learning.
No, quick
The
one.
guy is building
Is
capacity.
that use or abuse?
No. I'm not saying it's to you. You being used or being abused is relative.
Now you.
To you,
That's
who is gone to school. To you, you feel like, okay, I'm woke.
Okay.
I am civilized. It might be abuse to you, but to them, it's an end. It's a means to what now? To an end, because they know what they're going to get at the end of the day. That's why I said I like the Igbo pattern. That's why they are one of the richest. All through that 8 years, the guy would enjoy whatever it is you want to dish at him. All right. So far, he knows that during this period, I'm building capacity. During this period, I'm learning something. At the 8th year, Oga will do what now? Oga will settle up. Oga will open a store for him. Oga will give him money to start himself. That's the mentorship and internship many people are doing today. But I feel like those people are actually the ones doing it right. If there is a specific pattern on a system, then we won't have problem with, oh, this guy is not loyal. Oh, this guy bailed out of my company. But it's because there is no definition. That's why it's easier for people to abuse people and use people, all in the name of demanding humility and loyalty.
True. You are absolutely not wrong. But I feel there's a bias to what you're saying, right? Firstly, because yes, I am quite familiar with the Hebrew formula, right? And it is great. I also feel that a lot of other tribes should adopt it, right? But then there's also a question of we are speaking from an objective angle. We are not being subjective. We are not in those people's shoes, right? I have a true life story of someone who I used to know. I grew up with a guy actually.
Right.
While I was going to school,
Right.
he was with his boss,
Learning.
learning how to sell rice and beans in Mushin Market.
Okay.
I bought most of my stuff. In fact, it
From
was my
him.
mom that introduced
While you were going to school.
while you understand.
Right.
I was going to school.
Yeah.
And the guy had always just admired the fact that, when I was growing up, speak Queen's English and all that. He really loved that. You understand?
Right.
Now, he wanted to get more exposed, wanted to learn also, right? But of course, he can't do that. He has nowhere to stay. He can't run away. Do you understand? He also wanted to pursue something related to sports. The master shut it down.
Okay.
Now, that is someone who had a dream. Now, he had inclination towards education. No way. Inclination towards a dream of being a sportsman, football. You understand? I mean, he even wanted to try and say, oh, let me be doing it just Saturdays. You get. But you must be in shop every day. Do you understand?
I don't see a problem with that actually.
That's you, because you are being objective. It is not happening to you. Do you understand? Now he is in the situation, and I could relate with him because we were buddies. He was older than me, but we're relating as guy to guy. Do you understand? And he always tell me, I only go there maybe once in a week, and it's always stories of
Quick question, was he loyal to his boss?
He was.
He was humble all through the period of his learning process.
He was.
Did the boss have a plan for him?
Yes.
And he planned to settle him when he was done?
But the plan didn't come to fruition as the expected year.
Was that his fault, because he did not follow through, or
no? It was the fact that so something happened. The boss had to remarry or something. Do you understand? So the boss took a break. The guy had to even be managing 2 shops. Naturally, where you are talking about knowing your worth comes into play. If I was the one, I would demand that one of these should be mine.
Because I have served
my time. Do you understand?
Right.
Loyalty to a fault. He had to just stay. Do you understand? Because the boss was almost even family to him.
Does it always go well? Like when someone now understands that, okay, I think I've been loyal enough. I think I have.
Not everybody will accept it the way you push it out. You understand? And you can't control that. That's just it. You understand?
But in relationship, why is always it's when the lady now decides to break up and says, I've been loyal to you, I've proven myself humble all through the period of this relationship, I want to break up. And the guy will now say, see this girl, you that I had a plan for, you that I was planning to marry, or you that the friends will now say, this our guy be like you before, he won't marry you. But why all of this plan Why of this plan not come up until she has now decided to demand that what, like, I've been dating you for the past 6 years. You're not discussing marriage. You're not contributing to my life. I want to be a guy. When I say no, this guy I like. I don't know if you understand it now. I feel like where I'm going to is basically, don't you think it's expedient that all through the process, if you are with somebody, because we're talking relationship generally,
Yes.
both in business,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
important that this young person that you are demanding loyalty for, it is most important that you let the person see the bigger picture, right? You let the person know that in 5 years' time, just like the Igbo formula, if we are in this relationship, I will be at so place. My goal is this. My plan for you is this. You are in the picture of my plan. I don't even understand. I see a vision where you will be this. I see a vision with you. Don't you think humility and loyalty will be easy if everybody knows the end to all of the sacrifices they're paying? Because humility and being loyal to me is a sacrifice.
So that negates what you said earlier. When you know the end, it becomes conditional. Because now you are looking at the end goal, and you are just like, okay, till this time. That's you've conditioned your behavior. Even if you have to do, even if you are being abused,
you would want to take it.
You want to take it because okay, 5 years. Okay, now I've used 2 years. I've used 3 years. Do you understand? Now, the talk about relationship. You say relationships should be symbiotic. Respect, humility, loyalty.
Sure.
All of those things should go both ways.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
If he is loyal to you, you are expected to be loyal to him. Do you understand?
Right.
People just feel because it's under me. I taught a class on goal setting last year, and one of the things I told them when it comes to accountability is that accountability, people always assume, is to someone older. It cuts 3 ways. Accountability is to someone older, to someone younger,
and to yourself.
Right. Do you understand?
Right.
I gave the example of how that. I personally, some people here will have to, come out on their own, and maybe they didn't have a wealthy family and all that. The fact that they are accountable to their younger ones makes that push even easy.
Right.
What will I tell my younger one? So if they ask me for money, I will be what? Do you understand?
Right.
That is a form of accountability. The fact that they keep you in check. The fact that they will always ask. They will ask. This ask will come. Do you get? So you have to be stable. So respect, humility, loyalty, all of those things are symbiotic. It goes both ways. You must be able to give it as much as you are demanding it. Do you understand?
One great proof of humility is submission.
Yeah.
A really great proof of humility is submission. So people tend to want to demand submission, but not everybody understands that at some point submission or one being humble to you or loyal to you is something one should earn.
Yeah.
Women would not have problems with their hairdresser because they know that no matter how much the hairdresser will bend their head and say, bend your head this way, bend your head this way,
Trust.
so they'll put it because they know that at the end they will come out from that salon looking very pretty. But to their husband, when they get home, they might argue with the husband when the husband says this and the husband says that. I'm just trying to give a scenario because they know that I have not seen the refining, the beautiful part of this instruction you are giving me. So what I feel like people should take away, what's most important to learn is that in as much as you are demanding humility from people under you, you said something about being accountable to yourself, those under you, and of course those above you.
Yes.
It's most important that you show that you are what's being submitted to.
True.
Because it requires a whole lot of strength to lead.
Yes.
But followership requires a even greater strength.
Yes, it does. It does. Just like listening and talking. Talking seems very difficult. But listening
is even more difficult. But then how do we build trust in that process? Let's wrap up with that.
How you build trust.
How do we build trust that, okay, fine. I want to, now that you have been able to establish that it doesn't have a way it would be, humility and loyalty can be conditional, and I agree.
Yes.
So how do we build that trust that, okay, like when I said earlier that one decides who to be humble to, loyal
Yes,
to, right?
yes.
So how do you build trust with someone that comes under your team, someone you want to be in a relationship with?
So first, I believe that you have to, one person or the two have to understand that trust is built over time. You understand? I mean, no one just becomes trustworthy to anybody, right? However, when it comes to relationships, any form of relationships, you give before you think of receiving. That's what most people don't do. They want to receive first.
Right.
So first, you give it. You want someone to trust you. You give that trust to the person.
Right.
Now, if you're not receiving it back, you start getting that idea that, I mean, this person might not be someone I want to entrust that level of relationship with. You understand? Because of course, it's not symbolic. As I said, it has to be symbolic. That's in some form of relationship. Or there are some relationships that you come to discover you don't have a choice than to keep giving. Now you are not getting the trust back, but you probably might be getting some form of value back from that relationship. You understand? So, so that's
I thank you, because I feel like we've been able to, completely explore the topic of humility and how it can be a problem to you when you are humble to a fault and you get missed out in the greater deals. And of course we've been able to talk about how humility can can help project a particular person and prepare you even for greater opportunity. I should thank Tjan, the Joseph. A friend of mine pronounces that name Joseph.
Yeah, it's Joseph.
Joseph, not Joseph.
Not Joseph.
Joseph, a friend of mine pronounces Joseph. Adeosun.
Yes.
Network. Tjan, thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Pleasure.
Actually having a new series. This series is Word Out. Intentional talks with real people, and of course you've actually been the realest person I've had in this.
It doesn't get more intentional than this. Yes.
Yep, it's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the next one. I remain myself, OAP Because Cup. Keep watching. Look for the next episodes on this series, because this series, it's fire, because we're discussing across various topics, relationship, marriage and everything. And then I'll see you. Bye for now.